Today I want to talk about the word placebo and the placebo effect. Now, the word placebo has been invented by the scientific community, and the scientific community are no more than a religious cult. Now, before anybody misunderstands what I'm saying here, I'm not discrediting scientific experiments. In actual fact, if you can recreate something, twice, more than twice in a laboratory conditions, then that's proof enough that it works. When I refer to science as being a religious cult, I'm referring to the fact that basically the structure of science and who it's funded by and what direction it goes in is decided by people in positions of power. And anything that gets pursued by science is basically already chosen and funded by the people with the most power or the most money. It's no different than a religious cult, and people put into it in mass, as in the mass population get into it, like with the cancer research, and they all put their little bit of money in, just like a church, just like you do at a church, for the maintenance of the buildings and the paying of the people who are doing the research or the talking or the creating the conditions that these leaders want. And when you start to look at science like that, because for instance, the placebo effect itself is nothing more than the manifestation. Basically what they're doing is they're using the word placebo to rubbish manifestation, which is our power within us as humans. So what we have to do to counteract these people is to change the word placebo into manifestation, because they will keep saying, and isn't it magical, you give someone a pill, you tell them this pill will cure all your illness, and then their illness goes, right? So mentally they've created that illness going through imagination and through manifestation into the real world by really believing that is actually working. That's what it's doing. Now, the second that the science then turns around and tells them you were given the fake pill, so it didn't really work. I'm sorry, but you've been duped. And then all of a sudden they get their illness back. Now, science calls that the placebo. Wouldn't you like to know more about how that actually happened? And remember that this has been recreated by many people, including myself, on many different occasions. It can be used to get you well again. It can be used in your daily life. In actual fact, it's all creation. What you imagine and what you bring into this world is all creation. So for science to dismiss it as placebo, and the funniest thing of all is that the people who are very scientific minded, it's got to be proven by science. Science has only proved 2% of what exists, but yet these people are still living the other 98%, but they'll only focus on the 2% and they won't talk about anything else. And placebo is a way of grabbing that and saying, oh, it's just a placebo effect. Oh, is it? Oh, well, I thought that was going to work too. Whereas in actual fact, the power was within us all the way along. Science is if you want to see evidence of science being railroaded, then you only need to look at global warming. Because global warming is something that was massively funded by governments and corporate powers, because they can make mega money off the back of fear of the global warming. And when it didn't actually pan out in terms of their scientific evidence, they changed the name to climate change. And climate change basically can never be proved wrong, because the climate always changes. So this is how they get you. They program you, and you start thinking that you're not switching off your TV on standby or recycling your plastic packets. That's causing the whole global climate change and all this extreme weather. And there's always been this about. It's just that now we're in a position in life where we have instantaneous connectability all around the world, and everybody has a camera. So if there's any extreme weather going on anywhere, people get it on film. It's not that it's increasing. It's that if there's a massive hailstorm and someone's on a boat and they're coming down the size of golf balls, guess what? Someone gets a camera out and they put it on the internet and they say, oh my God, look at that. Well, yeah, well, that's always happened. It's somewhere, but people come back and they tell it. They've never been able to share it around the world. They would tell it in their village and it would die a death. Now you can instantly upload it to YouTube and you can see it all around the world. And so climate, so these scientists, they turn around and every bit of money is chucked towards the proof that global warming exists or that climate change is really bad and it's our fault. And none actually gets put into anything else. And it's all about fear. It's all about control. Now, what we need to do is stop using the word placebo, because it's created by evil. It's used by us naively, but it's created by evil. So it's about time that we actually, changed the way we speak and the way we think. Because if you change that, guess what? Your reality changes. You see a different world, and this is the placebo effect, as they call it. Manifestation, as I call it, is a very magical experience that can be brought on by anybody if they really believe something to be true and they desire it within their hearts. And wouldn't you like to know how to recreate that? Because you do it anyway, daily. Wouldn't you like to actually take control of that and start to actually put it into action in your life? I have, and it's amazing.